Hi guys.
Hi.
The spy movie is a very popular genre. This year alone we have the Black Widow movie, we have the new James Bond, for example. What was the main inspiration on building Will Smith's character?
The main inspiration on building Will Smith's character was really we wanted to find a character that would stand alongside of James Bond, Ethan Hunt, Jason Bourne, and when we were looking at who that character would be, we were looking at the heroes that we had growing up, and who better than Will Smith?
Yeah. And I think this is the craziest idea ever, turning a spy into a pigeon. Like, everybody loves dogs, but pigeon, oh my God. When did you guys decide on that and why?
Being a pigeon is actually a genius idea when you think about it for a spy. I mean, they're in every major city around the world.
Yeah.
Nobody notices them. They can fly really fast, up to 92.7 miles an hour.
Okay.
They have eyes on the side of their head, which means they can see in front of them and behind them at the same time. You can't sneak up on a pigeon, right? They can see UV light, which means they can see lasers and all kinds of other things. So that was the fun of the idea, is Walter creates these gadgets that seem ridiculous, but when you really think about them, they're fantastic.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
it
dogs
is.
can't do any
No,
of that.
yeah, oh my God, I never thought about that. And I would like to know, is it easier to write an original story or from scratch, or adapting a book or a comic book or an animated series? What do you guys think?
That's a very good question. You know, I think every story has its challenges, whether you're adapting it or creating something original. But I think the most important thing, no matter what you're doing, is what's the story you're trying to tell. And for us, you know, we're not just trying to create a spy movie, but because might be the first spy movie for a kid, we're trying to say something. We feel a responsibility to say something important with that, and that's how teamwork can really save the day.
Yeah. Whether you're adapting or doing something original, it's about coming up with characters that people can connect to, can aspire to. And that's really the focus of what we try and do in our films.
Which part was the most challenging one of the whole process?
Of animation?
Yeah.
It's all challenging. Making an animated movie is hard work. It is a long journey, going from working with the writers to the artist, coming up with a look for the world, because in animation, the world can look any way you want it to finding the right music and the right actors. The most difficult part is, I don't know, that's a great question.
It's funny, every bit of the film involves so much and so many people, but I think the hardest part of the movie was not one of the big action scenes or the big funny moments or where you go through Venice. It's none of the beautiful stuff. It was just a moment where Lance and Walter are sitting down on the boat talking about their philosophies. And it's so challenging because every word is so important, and we had to work it till we felt like every word was just right.
That's true, yeah. You don't have any of the big action or the big comedy. You're not going for laughs, so you're really just focused on the simplicity.
And all the main actors did superheroes or supervillains on comic book movies. What was that on purpose? Did you guys choose them because they could do their own stunts?
Yeah, no, you know, it's funny. It's good luck in finding an actor who hasn't been in a superhero movie. We cast everybody, and again, we have the most amazing cast, and we got our first choice across the board, which was so exciting for us. It never happens, but we really did cast on the performance the actors could bring to the table. You know, Will Smith, I mean, the Lance Sterling he's sassy, he's got swagger, he's arrogant, but still you want to be able to cheer for him and like him, and that kind of charisma is tough to find. Like, Will brings that. Character like Walter is fairly smart, but sometimes can be naive, but never silly, and that kind of sincerity that's a really delicate balance, and Tom just has that innately. So it really was more about finding the right performer for the right roles that could really bring the subtlety of the whole character to life, because that's when they come alive on screen.
Sure. And can you guys tell me a little bit about the inspiration?
Sure.
The research.
The inspiration started from an animated short called Pigeon Impossible by Lucas Martel.
Yeah.
And that short was really just about James Bond trying to have lunch and a pigeon was getting in the way. But from there, we really wanted to figure out, well, what kind of story do we want to tell? How do we turn that into a big movie? And again, it came from the message of how do we work together in a world that doesn't trust each other, right? In the world of espionage. So from there, it became, we knew we wanted a buddy comedy, but also where does that conflict come from? And instead of being challenged by a pigeon trying to eat your lunch, would it be funny if you turned the spy into a pigeon via the gadget guy?
And can you guys summarize Espião Animal? I'm sorry, I'm saying in Portuguese in one word.
Action, comedy, heart. There's so much going on in this. It's because we got a chance to make a spy movie, right? We love that genre. It's a huge, and we really wanted to make a really huge, fun spy movie. But at the same time, we like to laugh, and you want to make a really crazy, funny comedy, which is a whole other thing. But at the end of the day, unless people care about the characters and what's happening, if it doesn't have heart, it doesn't really go anywhere. So it was really, can we put all of that into one film? And yeah.
So to be fair, if you take action, heart, and comedy and put it together, I think it's heart-shimedy.
Yeah, heart-shimedy is
Great.
There you go.
Amazing. Thank you so much, guys.
You're welcome.
Thank you.